This is an excellent conversation, and I keep finding corollaries and interesting pieces that fit into what we're going through as a business. I mean, the whole discussion around technology and innovation, the difference between them, the science, the need for disruption, not fighting the old wars, using collaboration to get stuff done, accelerating the use of digital, the availability of information. These are all incredibly relevant to what we're going through. I mean, it's starting with the product itself. Obviously, we've known for a long time that burning cigarettes is a problem, and it creates all sorts of harmful constituents, and smokers are susceptible to all sorts of issues from that. Um, so the technology said stop burning and figure out how to give smokers a product that doesn't burn. The critical part was finding a product that they could actually switch to. And so we worked for years on this, and we had a number of failures. And finally, we've been able to come up with a number of products that we believe smokers can really switch to that don't burn and therefore don't create the vast majority of the harmful constituents that are in a burning cigarette. And one really important product in that area is heated tobacco that we've launched in a bunch of countries. We got almost 16 million people using it in Europe and Asia. And this product is something smokers can actually switch to. So figuring out how to make it something that people could use versus just the idea of the technology was super important in our transformation towards this. And then we realized, okay, the product is one thing, but you have to actually have the skill sets in the company. You have to be able to talk to consumers. You have to have the science behind it because, you know, people are skeptical of our industry and our company. You have to collaborate with others in order to get this verified as a third party to say that this really does make a difference to smokers. You got to talk to them and be able to explain it to them. It's a fairly complicated concept of combustion versus non-combustion, why that matters, how do these products work. They use batteries. They're more challenging to understand how to care for them and use them properly. So being able to communicate and use digital and use all these other pieces is critical to this whole change. And then, of course, you need to change your whole mindset within the company and be nimble. We became the disruptors of a very stable industry. And taking on that role and being able to do that successfully has been a huge challenge for our company. And looking forward in these times that are very uncertain, we obviously have to address these short-term issues from what's happening in the world, take care of our employees, take care of others, but we also need to keep pushing forward even faster with innovation and additional products and different additional choices for people out there, and make sure that they understand the best thing is to quit smoking entirely. But for those people who aren't going to quit, and there are a billion smokers in the world today, having a better choice and understanding that better choice and being able to communicate to adult smokers and give them those choices is absolutely our mission. And we're well on the way to achieving it. We're at about 25% of our total revenue is now coming from these new products. And we're totally committed to getting out of selling combustible cigarettes over the long haul. But it's going to take this collaboration that everybody's talking about to make that happen with third parties, government bodies, et cetera, and to make sure that people understand the benefits. We recently got authorization from the Food and Drug Administration in the United States to have this product as a modified risk tobacco product, meaning that they agreed that this was consistent with the promotion of public health. So this was already a pretty big milestone, very big milestone along this path, and follows a lot of these trends that everybody's talking about.
What have been some of your biggest barriers to collaboration?
Well, obviously the history of the industry and the skepticism that we meet. And we also, you know, somebody talked about fighting the old wars and don't fight the old wars. There's a very long-standing old war, which is about fighting big tobacco. And what we have tried to do is say, let's stop fighting that war and let's talk about the war, which is having adult smokers have better choices. And we can be part of that solution. We are part of that solution. We have fantastic ability, proven ability. I mean, in Japan, where we launched this product 5 years ago, more than 20% of the adult smokers have quit smoking and switched to these other products, which are far better choice. So we are a key player in the solution, but we have to be able to explain it and be let into the room, have a seat at the table to do that. And there are obviously very entrenched groups that are vehemently opposed to us having a seat at the table and vehemently opposed to us having the ability to even communicate the science and the understanding. So having third parties that are respected, verify and vet what we're saying, and make sure we are scrupulous about our statements and our science. It's incredibly thorough. We submitted to the FDA millions of pages of scientific studies and data, and we have to overdo it from the point of view of gaining credibility and trust and keep working at it. It's going to take years to do that. And then, of course, you have to overcome all sorts of skepticism about disruption in general. When you're one of the world's most successful companies and you're doing so well, your investors can be a little bit reluctant to hear about your plans to totally disrupt your own industry. So we have to really explain it well to our investors and all the stakeholders involved to make sure they realize it's win-win. It's win for smokers, obviously. It's a win for public health and society at large, but it's also a win for our shareholders because we can be more successful as a company by taking market share from our competition and by having a much more sustainable long-term business. So it's a long-term battle to keep getting the hearts and minds of folks out there to the possibilities of the future and this great innovation.